Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode, maybe perhaps more exciting than usual.
It's pretty exciting.
It's pretty exciting, bro. Episode of Everyone Needs a Spotter, the Multifamily Fitness podcast brought to you by the expert team here at RMS Fitness. And we're happy to welcome to the table, to the mic, the one and only Tony Sousa from RPM Living.
Hey guys, what's up?
I'm a little excited to have you here, man. I don't know if you can tell or not.
I'm excited to be here, man. You know, we had a good conversation earlier, and I appreciate you guys allowing me to come back and jump on the mic.
Thanks,
so
Tony.
yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks
for
coming,
making the
man.
time. He was ready to go when he came over. We needed 10 minutes to collect ourselves. We said, hey, man, go grab a drink and come on back.
Yeah.
But no, Tony, man, thank you so much for coming back around. Many people listening will probably know your name. You're very active on social media and LinkedIn, and you don't try to be a stranger, but just maybe briefly introduce yourself, tell people who you are and what you do over there at RPM.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm Tony Sousa, as you mentioned, VP of Marketing Relations for RPM Living. Act as the brand ambassador, the spokesperson across coast to coast. Embody the brand the best I possibly can. Bring positive attention to the company and the brand, of course. Hopefully a lightning rod of talent and recruits across the country and all sorts of things. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis, but I do have a background in operations. I've been in operations for almost 20 years. And then I got the call last year, hey, would you like to be in this new role? And so we're really excited, leaning in. I have a great team. Obviously, it's an amazing company. So, yeah, so all is good. I'm blessed and happy to be back at NAA.
Oh, man, you know what? It's to hear you tell that story and having kind of seen how you've positioned your different content and posts and things online over the years, seen how you've really grown into that role. And I, as someone who's not, I consider myself multifamily adjacent, but I'm not really in the multifamily industry. I've seen in the time that you've been in that role how you've brought a lot of attention to RPM. I can see the talent that is interested in joining the company. I've seen the posts, I've seen the comments and things.
It's obvious.
And the action that you all get on your hiring posts and things like that. It's a clear indication that you all are trying to put your best foot forward and draw the right people in.
Well, I mean, so many things are happening in so many positive ways. Obviously, RPM Living is an amazing company, already sort of drawing talent from across the country. You know, my job is to just continue to supplement that, bring positive attention, try to hack the algorithm the best I possibly can to make sure that people see the eyeballs, but also highlight the culture and the wonderful things that we're doing, taking care of residents, taking care of employees, working with our clients and owners very closely and all those things. So, I mean, the reality is people want to, we talked about this a little bit earlier, people want to connect with people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They love companies and corporations, sure, that have great brand recognitions, but ultimately, it's about the people, right? It's about the culture and all those sorts of things. And I think post-pandemic, that's become more prevalent and people really want to find those companies that are aligned with how they see the world and where they want to work and what they want to be a part of. And we've recognized that, and we're just kind of doubling down and making sure that the world knows what we're doing and what our culture is about and what we believe in. And I'm just pretty fortunate to be a part of that in the way that I am. So,
no, it's awesome to see. And I know one of the things that you post about, and I've seen along the way, is how you all try to make room within the space and roles at RPM Living for employees to cultivate their own personal brands.
Yeah.
You speak at all to the impact that you think that has on not just the individuals, but even the industry?
Well, I think, personal branding has been kind of a thing since the pandemic, I would say. Probably prior to that, but it's really taken off in the pandemic. And I think it has a lot to do with generationally. I think you have a millennial base with social media and other things that want to be able to sort of get out there, put their voice out there, let people, tell people what they think on social media, right? For the good, the bad, the ugly. You could still get in trouble with that. But, I think the cool thing about RPM and what, I think they've sent a message bringing a guy like me in that was building a community prior to this role, that they invite that, right? And so because of that, we're working on different workshops and programs internally to help further support our employees as they want to grow their communities, their digital communities, online brands, if you will, which ultimately we understand play a big impact and role in people's decision-making, right? It's very similar to, I think, the science behind Yelp or Google reviews, right? It's like, I'm going to buy a product only after I've read so many reviews from real people, not bots or marketing. I want to see what real people have to say about this. And I think people know me and others as real people. I come to conferences, I shake hands. Obviously, that's the thing my team in my local office get all the time. Like, is Tony like a real, is he really what he is? Is he a cool dude? And they laugh with me about it because we're pretty close and they know me to be who I am. And And I've really, over the years continued to lean into really defining who I am and being as authentic as I possibly can, especially in a role like this. I think that's more important than ever. And I think, I think that's appealing to talent across the country at high levels.
Yeah.
And we mentioned earlier, that magic is in the DMs. I think the outside public sees, probably some of the vanity metrics. The crowd's excited about what I have to say.
Yeah, the live shows, you get the sights and sounds here for sure.
Whoa. Here they go. I think what's worth noting is you got a PMC property management company down the way here. I think they're doing like a big team celebration right now. So there's not a lot of property management booths typically at NAA, but kudos to them for showing up and having a lot of fun. It sounds like over there.
For sure, it's a lot of fun to be at these shows in general and just get to meet people. And obviously, you and I have connected online over a lot of things. We've spoken in person. It's really cool to have you here on the mic and to be talking a little bit. I would be curious to know. Within the RPM, portfolio and kind of the mindset, and obviously we're a fitness company. That's what we do.
Yeah, of course.
What role does fitness play in the community building and things at the RPM properties?
I think, you guys are in a great space. Obviously, health and wellness is a big part of people's lives today.
For sure.
I think going forward is going to become more prevalent, staying in shape, being healthy. And obviously fitness centers are a big part of that. Obviously, developers that we work with, current, stabilized properties. Virtually, the bulk of our portfolio across the country, coast to coast, has fitness centers.
Sure.
And so, I think you guys are in the right space to continue to help supplement and make sure, obviously, equipment and other things are working and properly functioning. That's a big part, for us in building community to make sure that the amenities are running smoothly, that they're operational, all those sorts of things. And again, it's aligned with people's, I think, focus today and going forward of health and fitness and staying in shape and all those things, our effort to live eternally, right? Or at least live to 100 plus these days.
Stave off nature as long as we can, right?
And, fitness and wellness is a big part of that. You guys play a big part in making sure that, in its simplest fashion, that if you're a resident at an RPM property, that, we also want to make sure that every amenity is working and operational when you go in there. It's part of why, in their mind, the rent that they're paying is that everything should be working and operational. And, I think it's important for all of us. We talk about brand at a large scale, and probably my ops is coming out a little bit. Is at the end at the end of the day, that's what residents want. They actually want really simple things. They want maintenance. They want their appliances to work in their home. They want the amenities to work and function. And they want you to be responsive as an office to communicate back to them. And that's about it. I agree.
They agree. Yeah. Man, they just want the office to hear back. That's
right. They get it.
No, but we talk often on the podcast about how having an amenity is only as good as what you actually have. And, if you go into a tour scenario, you're walking into the fitness amenity, and if you haven't gone in the gym in the last month and you don't know what's broken and you don't have a partner who's coming through and periodically checking, that's a bad experience for your leasing team to have to go in there and try to sell around an out of order sign or, something that's clearly not been serviced. And so we talk about that all the time. The key to just being a responsive, proactive problem solving for our clients, because a blown tour is a blown tour.
Well, and I'll tell you, I think those sparkling pools over the years have gotten more focused than we'll call them the sparkling fitness centers, right? And I think for a couple different reasons. I think visually you can see a pool when it needs care, right? Or needs attention. Other amenities, probably there's more of a visual eye check, right? That a maintenance facility member can say, oh, okay, we need to do this or do that. I think fitness is a little bit different. I think that's where you need to have the right partner in place because, you have to use every machine. And typically, how operators in the office find out something's not working isn't because usually we have always we don't have employees using every piece of equipment to make sure every day it's working. It's usually residents give us feedback that something's down or something like that. Also, there's, preventative maintenance, which is key to make sure that everything's working consistently as well.
Very true.
And I'm sure you guys, whether it be quarterly or biannually,
quarterly. Most customers is quarterly. There's a little variance.
Making recommendations of all those things. So, but you're right. Yeah, absolutely. I'm representing brand at the highest level. But every property has a brand, our company has a brand, and residents are aware of that brand sometimes. They want to know, are you delivering on the brand promise? And are your amenities working? Is your customer service what you say it is? All the things, man. So we get it. It trickles all the way down. And I think, obviously you could tell I've been in this business a little while,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's all interconnected. And I think sometimes the best way to understand it all is to simplify it.
Yeah. That's
Awesome.
interesting to hear you highlight many things that we've kind of organically just picked up over our recent years. We didn't set out with a multifamily focus, but we've realized that by doing so much work in that industry with folks that we've kind of learned to identify the things that are most important in that space and where the misses hurt the most and where the wins are the most impactful. And we try to tailor what we do and how we approach things really now with that that industry in mind, because we just understand it's different.
And even something we haven't even talked about, and I know that's very prevalent and a focus for you guys, is liability too. Also,
Yeah.
right? So and I'm not even saying like small children using the equipment. I'm talking about adults, and if it's not working appropriately, someone can get hurt, injured, all those things. And by no means does anybody want that that to happen. That's an insurance nightmare, and God forbid someone gets really injured, and it happens on occasion. But I think if you have a good program in place, right?
Yeah.
We talked about preventative maintenance and other things to make sure at least mitigate those potential issues in the future. It's a best case scenario if you can reduce those
Stay out in front
incidences
of
from
it.
happening.
We just actually, last week's episode that we recorded that we haven't posted yet is about where and when. It's kind of a play on words in terms of fitness is not one of those things that you want to like ignore your check engine light on until a cable breaks or something and now you have an accident. We talk a lot about like you can need something before your eyeballs tell you need it in a fitness space, unless you have someone that knows what they're looking for.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it is an interesting kind of industry to be a part of. And I was just curious to know, we talked to some companies and they're like, none of our properties have fitness centers in them. And so it's clearly not an urgent thing to them.
Sure.
But obviously within a company like you mentioned that all your, or most of your properties throughout the portfolio feature
Yeah, I mean,
fitness.
especially the new ones.
The new ones, they're really nice. The new ones, they're great.
Everybody loves the new ones. But again, I think the reason why the developers are looking out for the future, like I said, health and wellness are a big part of life, and so not that it wasn't before, but it's become very prevalent and talked about and all those sorts of things. And so, and I don't know if it's a generational thing or not, but so fitness is a big part of people's life.
Yeah.
Is it changing? Are the machines changing? Sure. Yeah. I mean, you talk to the equipment guys, the manufacturers there. Yeah, there's different things that people are doing, but ultimately, you need to make sure everything's operational and working. And, ultimately it's our responsibility to keep it clean and taken care of. But you guys, I'm sure do an incredible job of making sure everything's functioning and working appropriately, and then providing recommendations as you need to. So
yeah, that's kind of the name of the game.
Yes, it
That's where
is.
we got it started. Our roots are in service for 20 plus years before we ever sold anything.
Look at it. They're excited about it.
Yeah, look, go service. So we understand that
Yeah.
that's where everything begins. Is everything can be great, but if it's broken, it's terrible. So it's not.
Yeah.
It's not important to have those things unless you're also going to stand behind them.
And
With
to
the
be honest,
service.
even something as simple as that, I mean, I've seen the reports over the years. I mean, people will move out because your fitness center machine that they love, the treadmill that they hasn't been working for months, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the reason I'm moving out, because I need to go to a place that has something functional. As simple as that. People will make a decision to move out because of something like that, especially if you're a fitness guru or, you love that treadmill, and if it's not working, you'll go somewhere else.
No, it's true. I can imagine that if it hits right around renewal time and they've just been fed up enough about it, that it could put them over the edge to just.
But
look
any
elsewhere.
time in the cycle of it could agitate them enough. But yeah, the timing is key too. Yeah, sometimes in the end when they're about to sign or not, they're like, well, are you going to get that treadmill fixed or not?
So aside from RMS Fitness's booth, what's the coolest thing you've seen here at NAA this week?
Well, no, I
Maybe
just,
say the Lambo like everybody else. I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, there's some cool stuff, man. There's so many cool gadgets and all that. I'm here for the people. I'm here for the energy, all those sorts of things. I agree. They're here for that too. So yeah, man. There's cool gadgets, cars, and prizes you could win. But ultimately, I think why we love this industry is the people and the energy in the building, and it's been really a fun NAA. So
Man,
Awesome.
that was the Tony answer for sure, man. That was because that's so in line with your your priorities and clearly the direction that you move in and how you handle your business, man. So
yeah, I mean, Lambos are cool, right? I mean, yeah, but
anything else you want to speak on
I
or
just,
say about
I just
RPM?
appreciate
Living?
you guys giving me the opportunity. Anytime I get to talk a little ops, man, it's fun.
I know your time is precious, man, but we appreciate you taking the time to come out here and talk with us.
Yeah, anytime I can kind of flex on ops, it's obviously where I spent a lot of my career. Obviously, a lot of conversations these days are about personal brand and and building that. But operations is I got a heart for it, and the people that do it, and and for you guys that help help those people execute on the operations side. So we appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
No,
Thanks,
no problem.
Tony.
You know what? Thank you, man. You stepping down here in the booth means a lot, obviously, for you to be here and just make those comments about things. And it's really special to take somebody that we've met from the internet across the country, be in the same place with you here. It is about the people.
Yeah, it is.
It means a lot that you'd come here and be here with us. So thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that we'll listen to this episode. We'll see you on LinkedIn. And we look forward to catching up with you at the next show, too.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Bye.
Tony, take care of yourself. Safe travels, brother.
Thanks, guys.